Welcome back to the Sonic Locker Room. This is Bill Althouse of Sideliner Sports, and we're celebrating our 18th year bringing you the best and the brightest from Eastern Jackson County and the metro area. And today we're going to visit with our buddy John Hamilton, the track coach from Pleasant Hill High School, and it's right around the corner, and he brought along a very unique guest, Lucas Van Meter, all-state punter who's going to be punting next season at Missouri Southern, all-conference and leading scorer in basketball, and a first-time member of the track and field team. Coach, how excited are you to see what Lucas can do in a brand-new sport?
Well, we're excited to have him for his leadership. Got to see him play basketball a couple of times this year, brought a lot of energy to that team. One night scored 47 points for us, so that's the most anybody's ever scored in a single game. And he brought some other seniors with him. We've got 3 or 4 this year that have decided to give this a try for the first time, and I think so far they're really enjoying the training. And so we think those guys are going to play a little bit of a role for us, even though it's their first time out. They've all done other sports, so we know there's speed there. So we're just going to put it on the track and see what kind of times we can get.
Lucas, I was a sports writer at the Examiner for 43 years. This is the 18th year of the Sonic Locker Room. There's no student athlete I appreciate more than a 3-sport athlete, especially at a school the size of Pleasant Hill. You know, earned a football scholarship to Missouri Southern, all-state punter. Wow, 47 points in a basketball game. That's pretty darn cool right there. How excited are you about trying out for track for the first time as a senior?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've seen all the work they put in and all the extra stuff, like how they get players to the next level and anything they do. The workouts are hard, and it makes me better. And everybody out there works hard, so it just makes me want to work harder and makes me better along with everybody else.
Are you excited about being in a sport where, unless you're on a relay, everything's on your shoulders? You know, whatever you decide to compete in, you're kind of a one-man show. Whereas in football and basketball, if everybody isn't on the same page, it can be pretty chaotic out there. How excited are you about figuring out what's going to happen here in track and field?
Yeah, it's a different perspective, like with all this stuff, but I'm excited to, give myself a new challenge. And it's also a team sport as well. Everybody has to compete, and I believe that we're going to do great in that. And but yeah, I'm excited to compete just with everybody else and track and field. Yeah.
Coach Hamilton, I think it's great that excuse me, that Lucas said it's a team sport. I've covered many track and field teams over the years where I felt like they were the most cohesive team sport I'd seen. The boys, are there cheering for the girls' teams, vice versa. The relays are always so much fun. When a guy's event is over, you can see him in the stands cheering for a teammate. How do you create that type of culture at Pleasant Hill?
Bill, I think years ago we talked about this very thing, that we try to educate the kids a little bit about the sport, because the average kid walking down the hallway does not know what a good 800-meter time is for a high school girl. They don't know what a good discus throw is. So we encourage our kids to go and look around at those things. We even have some practice time where we'll have kids go talk to other kids and educate them about what they're doing, what their goal is, what their PR is, what's good, what's the standard, for their event. So that's the first thing, is just education. The second thing that we really focus on here, and it's difficult sometimes, but we require all of our kids to stay until the 400 or the 4x400 meter relay is over. So we stay till the end of meets, whereas I think a lot of times, mom takes the shot putter that's done for the day home before the rest of the meet goes on. So our kids do end up in the stands, kind of piled in there, and they get excited about what's happening on the track. At the same time, the kids that aren't running for a little while in a meet, we'll see them kind of wander down to the throws and see what's going on, or hang out along the fence and see how the high jump's going. And I think just familiarity and getting to know what's good, what that athlete is trying to accomplish, and knowing them well enough to know what their goals are. That just kind of snowballs into a little bit more excitement about the sport for everybody.
John, that's one reason why, there are many, but that's one reason why I respect you so much. You always put a great track and field team out there to compete, but you want to educate your kids. You want to make them great athletes and great people in the community. And is that culture? Do you have to have the right kids to create that culture, or do you just need to offer it to your student athletes and see what happens?
I teach all day in the weight room, so I see right off the bat, I see what kind of ability kids have. And I also see what kind of focus they bring, what kind of work ethic. I see a little bit of their character in that room. And I tend to recruit from the weight room. When they come in as freshmen, a lot of our kids did not do middle school track and field, or they may be on the fence about whether they're going to play soccer in the spring or if they're going to play baseball. And I'm not, that's great if that's the direction they go. But if they don't know for sure, I encourage them to come be part of what we're doing. If I see in them that character that we want to have on our team, we have 92 kids, boys and girls combined here this year, which is, I think, the most that we've right up there with the most we've ever had. And a lot of that credit goes to Coach Dent, the girls' head coach. He recruits heavily in the hallways as well. But we definitely look for those high character kids because those are the ones that are going to help make everybody else around them better.
Lucas, have you decided what event you're going to compete in this season for the Roosters?
Not 100%, but I have some, like high jump. I really enjoy doing that. The 200, I like the 200. And then just anything they need me for, I'm going to be available to do for them.
He's going to learn to love the 400, even though it's a little bit painful. But our 4x4, there's a lot of opportunity on the 4x4. We've got, and I think that's going to be his race. We train them all at 400 meters, and if they can come down from there to the 2 or the 1, that's great. But the training is really 400 focused for that sprint group.
Lucas,
he's going to do that.
Lucas, I've had so many conversations over the years with folks about track and field, and it's absolutely one of my favorite events to cover. And I'll say that the 400 is as tough as any race there is, simply because, there's not a lot of strategy. It's just getting out there and getting it done 4 times longer than the 100. Have you tried that yet in practice?
Yeah, we do all kinds of running. Yeah, we tried that in practice.
So some of our intervals have been 400 meters, right?
Yeah,
with short time dress and the whole deal. So he's getting a taste of it early on.
I love it.
He got to do it in the snow yesterday.
Well, I was going to ask you. This weekend, going to be in the 80s. Welcome to Missouri, -7 over the weekend. A little bit of a stretch there, but, you played football. You know what it's like to deal with the elements out there. But how do you deal with a temperature change like that? And, it's necessary to practice in it because there's a good chance you're going to compete in it.
Well, I've dealt with it all 4 years, in all sports except basketball, obviously. But it's just you got to be tough and when you're doing the event, you're adrenaline running. You're not worried about how cold it is or whatever else is going on. You're just out there and you're there to compete. So,
Lucas, you're called a student athlete because the academic side is every bit as important as the athletic side. How, going from football to basketball to track and field, how do you get it done in the classroom?
I put extra work in inside of school and outside of school. I do the extra things just to make myself better in that aspect. And because I have time everybody has time after school to get it done. It's just if you want to get it done and if you're willing to do it.
How excited are you about heading to Missouri Southern to be a punter?
Extremely excited. I've been down there a few times. I love it down there. The atmosphere down there in one of the games is great. The coaches down there they're going to put you through work, which is good. It's just really nice.
Well, Coach John Hamilton and Lucas Van Meter, an outstanding 3-sport athlete. at Pleasant Hill High School. Can't thank you guys enough for joining us today. Wish you nothing but success throughout the remainder of the season. And guys, you're always welcome here in the Sonic Locker Room.
And we appreciate you having us, and thank you for everything that you do. Before the interview, I was telling Lucas how extensively and how thoroughly and for how long you've helped promote and cover high school athletics. So I follow your Twitter feed and always interested in what you got going on. So thanks for everything you do too.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.